Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'd like to say welcome and thank you to our new subscribers, and also thank you to those tuning in again this week for some enlightenment of the energy that will be transpiring. And we really do have a emotionally charged week ahead of us with fluctuating energies. So let's get started. Let's talk generally overall about the month of January. Actually, first, let me say Happy New Year. Then we can talk about the overall energy. Interesting to note, in the month of January, there's only one planet that's going to change signs. We have 3 planets that are going to change direction, which is great news, but only one planet that's going to change signs, and that is going to be Venus. Relative to the planet motion, we have Uranus and Mercury and Mars are all going direct this month. So by the end of the month, all planets will be moving forward, meaning it's time to hit the gas pedal. Okay, so let's break down this energy. In review of the energy, I really do believe, with the exception of Venus moving into Aquarius, which is going to happen tomorrow, which we'll talk about in a moment, all of the other energies that are present Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week are all getting us ready for this full moon on Friday that is going to be extremely emotional. So we'll talk about it. I'll talk about it briefly, but then I want to move forward quickly and explain how that energy leads us to the full moon in Cancer. So first, let's talk about Venus moving into Aquarius. So tomorrow, Venus moves into Aquarius. Venus in Aquarius, Venus rules relationships and money, and Aquarian themes are, I am who I am, but I'm also part of the collective, right? You're an individual, but you are an individual part of the collective. So when you talk about that relative to Venus, which is money or relationships, it's really non-traditional relationship themes. It's friends with benefits. It's the exact opposite of marrying your high school sweetheart and celebrating 80 years together, unless it's like an open relationship or exploring options and something that you agreed upon with your significant other at the time when you did get married. So Venus in Aquarius is all about options. It's all about exploring options. It's all about being an individual with freedom, but within the confines of a relationship. And the same thing with money. So that's, diversification of your portfolio, let's say. It's not, putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. So that's what's happening on Monday. Also, in addition to that, we begin the other energy that's beginning to come in that will really perfect at the time of the full moon on Friday. We've got Mercury, which is in Capricorn, is going to sextile Neptune in Pisces. And this is really communications that bring spiritual enlightenment from something that happened in the past or some ancestral conditioning. Okay? This is just communications, again, communications that spring forth, that bring spiritual enlightenment from something that happened in the past or has something to do with ancestral conditioning. Then on Tuesday, we've got the Sun in Capricorn is going to begin to square Chiron. This is a huge part. Begins the beginning of a T-square when the Sun and the Moon actually oppose each other at the time of the full moon. We are going to have Chiron right smack dab at a 90-degree angle to both, or creating a T-square. The beginning of that T-square starts on Tuesday, and that is going to usher in healing components of ego-draining energy. It's the endless cycle of filling the void for the purpose of making yourself feel better. A whole lot of emptiness. So just be ready for this. By the end of the week, this is going to change significantly. Again, this energy is here so that you can do something to relieve that pressure. On Wednesday, we have, which I believe is the 4th already, we've got Venus, which is in the sign of Aquarius now, is going to sextile Jupiter in Aries. This is emotional detachment. That's what it means to me. So Venus in Aquarius is being able to be detached emotionally from a situation so that you can assess it or think outside the box, and that's relative to relationship or investments. But it's emotional detachment. And I think that's going to be healthy because of some of the some of the drama that might rise at the time of this full moon. You might need some emotional detachment so that you're not so into it and entrenched in it that you can't discern and make good judgments. Okay, so I think we can, if you begin to feel that way, if you begin to feel yourself being sucked into some overly dramatic situation, please lean into that Venus sextile Jupiter energy that allows us to have that emotional detachment. Then on Friday, we are going to have a full moon in Cancer at 16 degrees. And being the nerd that I am, I love patterning. And this is the 4th of 7 full moons in a row at 16 degrees. Very interesting to note. I have my nodes, my North Node, South Node, they're the same measurement anyway. My nodes, as well as 5 other natal planets, are within orb of 16 degrees. So every time there's a full moon, man, I'm feeling it. So I'm not sure where your natal planets are, but if you got natal planets anywhere in or near 16 degrees on full moons, man, you're ready to just shed stuff like crazy, just like me. Anyway, this full moons close out situations. And because this is a full moon in Cancer, it is going to close out cycles that began near the new moon, the new moon in Cancer, which would have been the 28th of June in 2022. This full moon also highlights the Cancer-Capricorn axis. We will talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so it is extremely powerful right now. That means that the emotions are going to be high. So let's talk about Capricorn energy. The sun is going to be in Capricorn, and the sun in Capricorn is the archetype male or masculine energy. It's ruled by Saturn, and it is all about foundations, systems, restrictions, perhaps. Mercury is also near the sun. It's just 1 degree off. The sun is at 16 degrees, Mercury's at 17 degrees, and Mercury is retrograde. So these could be issues or communications that come up that talk about your worthiness or some success that you thought you should have had but you didn't, or mind type things, because Mercury also rules the mind. These are things that are running through your mind that you can't stop that spinning. Also in the sign of Capricorn is Pluto. Now, Pluto is not within orb. Pluto is at 27 degrees, but nonetheless, it's providing that energy to the Capricorn side of this opposition it talks all about transformation, drilling down, exposing secrets, that sort of thing. So that's one side of the opposition, which is Capricorn energy. On the other side of that opposition is Cancer energy. Now, Cancer energy is very motherly. It's the female archetype. It's nurturing. It's emotional. And again, at odds with Capricorn. And Pallas Athena is here at 18 degrees, again, 2 degrees off from exactitude. And Pallas Athena is the goddess of truth, wisdom, and courage. All about speaking your truth. So you can just see this opposition, starting to really get honed in on that energy and not wanting to budge. And then we've got Chiron. Remember Chiron? Chiron is in between the opposition. So you've got your opposition, and then Chiron's right down here, 90 degrees away from this end, 90 degrees away from this end. And what is Chiron doing? Chiron is going to help us heal these ancestral wounds, or wounds that exist within yourself, for the purpose of ascension. Very powerful stuff going on this week. That's all about the full moon on Friday. Then on Saturday, we have some of the best energy this week. I do like the Venus going into Aquarius. I love that energy. It's so freeing. However, on Saturday, which is the 6th, we've got the sun in Capricorn is going to trine Uranus and Taurus. Very, 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 very easy energy. This is all about breakthroughs of consciousness, because we're talking Uranus, and Uranus is all about higher levels of consciousness, and these can be coming in from out of the blue. So breakthroughs of consciousness as a result of how the gravity of reality has shaped us. The acceptance of those dynamics. I understand that I am a dynamic of my environment. So I'm accepting that, and then shifting my perspective accordingly. Letting go of some things, dropping some things, but you're doing it not from a place of angst or angriness. You're doing it because you are able to emotionally attach, but you also are accepting yourself for the beauty that you are and understanding that whatever those circumstances were that you may have been in opposition to or really didn't even know existed, that's by being that person is what got you here today. By being in that environment is what got you where you are today. And once you accept yourself and the personal beauty that is you, you can begin to align with freedom. There's no more lack. There's no more trying to fill a void. There's no more trying to fill a hole. You can set down those bags that you've held for years, or perhaps you could be carrying them for ancestors past. These could be things that you have lived with since the moment you were born. It is time to move forward, lighter, freer, more adaptable, and ready for these opportunities that are coming in. Remember, I mentioned by the time we hit the gas pedal at the end of the month, we need to set down everything that does not align with us. And this full moon is really giving us examples of what we need to shed in order to attract the things that equal innately who we are. We can draw them to us once we set these bags down. We will be able to be prepared for those opportunities and align with the freedom that is us, that we know, so that whatever we attract to us equals the level of freedom that we feel. Now, instead of pulling a card today, I am going to do something a little differently. I feel pretty strong about this. I have lent this channeling to a couple of people actually, and I have it pinned up. It's got a piece of tape at the top in my office here at home. It's a channeling that I got at the time of the total full moon lunar eclipse back in November, on November the 8th actually. Let me read this channeling to you. I do believe it applies to also this full moon. It was a total full moon lunar eclipse whose energy is strong for 4 to 6 months. So we're still within that energy. And I believe that this channeled message also applies to this very, very strong and emotional full moon. Here we go. Situations presenting now for the purpose of evaluation, then decisive action to bridge the gap so we can bear witness to our own ascension as it relates to our self-worth. We have the ability to handle things from a different, more evolved standard of management, thought, or communication. It's a 5-dimensional understanding of problem solving that preserves our self-worth without purposefully creating conflict of others. Respond versus react. This is an opportunity to apply discretion and grounded evaluation of something you are passionate about or a secret that's been kept. Now, I will type this out in the info box below, but I'm also going to hold it up if you'd want to take a screenshot of it. Whether or not it's relative to your current situation, I do not know. I do know that it's helped others, so I would like to also afford it to you if you want to take a screenshot of this. There we go. I think it's all in there. And I will also type it out in the box below. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. We do have a very powerful full moon. Be mindful of yourself and allow yourself the space and time if you do need to detach. Remember to breathe. If things get really heavy, just drop into your breathing. That will always help you get aligned with the now, not what happened yesterday or what you're worried about for tomorrow. So anyway, thank you so much for stopping in. If you like this video, please do click the like button. The more people that click the like button, the more it gets viewed by others. I appreciate that because it's not all about getting viewers. That's not something, I'm not looking for subscribers. What I'm looking for is to get a message out. So if I can help others, please help me in that endeavor if you would, please. If you want to know when videos are being dropped, click the subscribe button and you will be notified when a video is being dropped. If you have any questions or comments, post them in the comment box below and I will reply as soon as possible. I hope you have a fabulous week. Namaste.